Right then, lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Arsenal news today, the first video of the day. Arsenal takeover. Will the Qataris buy Arsenal? We need to think about this. We need to talk about this. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Qataris might fail to buy Arsenal. Now, this is a big topic related to human rights and a couple of other, irregularities that the Qataris have been doing down in their own country, and that may block them in their attempts to buy Arsenal. It is a very, very big topic, and I was listening to, I was watching the Arsenal launch, and Mo made very good points. Why maybe the Qataris will never buy Arsenal. The fact that they do have a lot of human right abuse in their country and things like that. We're gonna dive into that. Do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. Obviously, people, transfers are over, but the channel stays. And of course, Arsenal stays. Arsenal news now stays. Arsenal news stays. We will be giving you all, in terms of Arsenal and Arsenal news, right? So let's try to get into it. Over the last 2 weeks, we've been singing one or two stories outside transfers, and that has been the Arsenal takeover. The Qatars, or the Qatari royal family, being rumored to want to take on Arsenal, and also rumored to have been in talks with the Cronkies. However, it seems that all that has been a little bit more of an exaggeration of the press and of social media. It looks like Arsenal and the takeover is not imminent. They are not imminent. They're not even close to taking over Arsenal. The Cronkies are still remaining in the same position. We do not want to sell. The Qatari and the royal family, it seems that there is interest in buying Arsenal. Their interest is there. It is a little bit genuine, but it is not as advanced to an extent that is imminent or very, very close. So 5 reasons why the Qataris might fail to buy Arsenal. 1 is the abuse of human rights. Now we know the UK and Britain, despite the fact that they are pulled out of the EU and things like that, they are a country that really cherishes human rights. If you abuse human rights, if your country abuses human rights, you're gonna struggle to do business with them. Now, the argument on the table, in the sitting room, is Arsenal, a club that is drowning, a historical club in Britain, is a historical club in the UK that needs to be saved. The Qataris are like, we can save you, we can save the club, we can inject billions and billions of money. Tom Canton puts it very clear, on the Arsenal launch, because he says, if you are an owner that has billions and billions of money and you abuse human rights, you're not even different from the Cronkies. I wouldn't want you anywhere close to Arsenal Football Club. And he says, I would still, support the club, just like all other fans would do. But you wouldn't want, someone who abuses human rights to take over Arsenal. Now, the big problem, is this. 14 out of 20 Premier League clubs would have to vote, for the takeover, for Qatar to take over Arsenal. Now that means that if Qataris, have been portrayed as abusers of human rights, then there is no way they're gonna buy Arsenal. There is no way they're gonna get the endorsement from the 14 clubs, and it can never happen. It can never happen. It's more like wonder, and I still ask myself, how then do Arsenal have a partnership with Visit Rwanda? Because if you're talking about, of course, we know how much Qatar is not a friend to respect of human rights. That one is no question, and they're not lying about them. They do not respect human rights, and it's not their thing. They're absolutely out of the context. They don't respect human rights and that's it. But if you think about it, if you put it into context, and this is my question, is okay, if you feel like the Qataris cannot buy Arsenal because they don't respect human rights and they're outrageous when it comes to the respect of human rights, how about visit Rwanda? Rwanda is one of the worst countries in the world in terms of suppression, in terms of I don't know why I don't know what you would call it, but it's one of those countries that do not have a listening ear to human rights. If it comes to vote rigging, they're number one. When it comes to absolutely everything that is undemocratic, Rwanda is one of the top countries, especially in Africa. Now, Rwanda has its name. It's Rwanda, not Rwanda, like many people want to call it. Rwanda is a city. Rwanda is the country in East Africa. And much respect to all the people in Rwanda. You know what we are talking about here. So if Rwanda has its name on the Arsenal jersey, why can't the Qataris buy Arsenal? Why can't we do business with them? It's a little bit confusing for me, and that's the reason why it's confusing, because they believe Qataris shouldn't buy Arsenal because they do not respect human rights, and you do understand that because they're absolutely so poor at keeping and respecting human rights. But then you have the Rwanda, who are also ugly. Their face is so ugly in front of human rights, and they're proud of it. They rig votes and they're proud of it. The country, we know the president there is a big fan of Arsenal. He's a big Arsenal fan, but that doesn't take away the fact that he abuses Arsenal. He abuses human rights. And he's been given a chance to advertise with us on our jersey. Maybe the Qataris, there is something that we don't know, because it is also believed that the Qataris' interest is not even new in Arsenal. It has come all the way from the back, but it seems like it has been always blocked. And that takes me to the fact that maybe Aliko Dangote will also never buy Arsenal, because if you're talking about abuse of human rights, you're talking about Africa. You're talking about Africa. In Africa, including the big countries that you would think about, the likes of SA, South Africa, maybe all of Africa is a face of the abuse of human rights. You will at least there is some at least there is something, there is some element in every country. So if Dangote is going to buy Arsenal and we are kicking out people who are abusing human rights, then probably the Nigerian also doesn't stand a big chance in that regard. But the other reason as to why the Qataris might not buy Arsenal, there is a story coming up that almost 6,500 migrants have lost their lives trying to build the fancy stadiums for the 2022 World Cup that is going to be held in Qatar. Now, this is very closely linked to the fact that they do not respect human rights, but this is very different. It's so close to human rights, but this is outrageous. 6,500 people have died building the fancy stadiums in Qatar. We all know that there is no football, so they didn't have these stadiums, and it is just temporary. They're only building these stadiums because of the World Cup, and it's temporary. 6,500 people have reportedly lost their lives in building these stadiums for Qatar. It's not going to, with all those stories, with all that crap, it's never going to be easy for Qatar to buy Arsenal. It's never going to be easy. Unless they bribe. I don't think they will bribe their way out. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be that easy. Because, look, you abuse human rights, and then now 6,500 people have died. It's not forced labor really, but the kind of conditions under which they are working. We know how hot Qatar is. And we know that they're trying to build stadiums that can contain the heat in and out, so that the players can actually have 90 minutes without being exposed to high levels and amounts of heat, as well as the supporters sitting in the stadium with air conditioned seats. Yeah, that is good. But 6,500 people, 6,500 lives is the cost. Maybe FIFA should think about this. Maybe FIFA should rethink about this. My name is Kosi. The Arsenal Qatar takeover is in the mix. We could have it. It might not happen. And by the look of things, for me, it might not happen. I'll speak to you in the next one. Help me smash a like on the video and help me subscribe to the channel as well.